Today we are talking about how Black history literally changed our lives, and that came from literally celebrating and studying Black history pretty much every day, every week for the past few years.
Mm-hmm. And also it changed the kind of books we're reading, the kind of music we're listening to, even movies, and really forced us to learn about where we come from.
Black history is vast. It's huge. And my starting point was really saying, hey, wait a minute. I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I left when I was 10. I don't think I really know my history. So I dove deep right away. I went from reading, books like this, New Testament history, to reading books like this. Kwame Nkrumah, as some of you might know, The Challenge of the Congo. And I read through about 3 books as a base to really start to dig deep into where I am from, but also about African history. I saw a connection right away between the Black people in Africa and the Black people in the United States.
When he's going through that journey, I didn't really understand it. But at the same time that, he was watching documentary, which we love watching documentaries. So I start, just watching the history of Congo or Ghana or just different part of Africa, and I was just like, wow, like how come we're not being given this information? How come this is so hidden that you have to dig deep to figure out? And that even make me question, do I even know my country of history?
I have been studying Black history by going deep into historical books. My wife has been really going more with biographies and studying about great Black men and women, and really kind of understanding their history and kind of connecting that back and seeing how this how history fits within individuals, certain individuals' lives. And so that has been sort of 2 different approaches and maybe 2 different styles that we've taken. And one thing that we always do and we've done is we come back together and we talk about what we're learning. We discuss the findings that we're kind of coming across. In our study of Black history, it hasn't really been just books. Our entertainment, for example, we watch more documentaries that have to do with Black history than we watch movies together. We're very conscious of time and how we spend our time learning about these things, and we know sort of the value for why we need to do that. The music we listen to, for me, for example, I've changed the kind of music I listen to. I listen a lot more to African music from different countries around the world and different Black artists in the United States and Mexico, Jamaica, all countries in Africa, and just really Black musicians that I'll say have something to say about the African and the Black experience. So that I've really used that to kind of add this extra level and layer of learning and entertainment in my love and study of African history. The difference between us, let's say 4, 5, 10 years ago and us now is that the level of intentionality and depth we put into studying and understanding and discussing and
what we consuming
and kind of the things we consume, and how they affect our understanding of where we come from. We are very intentional because we know that African history sadly has been tampered with and has been hidden from many black people. The ignorance around African history has led to the pacification and the outright ignorance in black communities around the world. And the ignorance is not intentional, it's just the lack of information.
We have, I would say, almost like a weapon that has been given to us to learn about your history. You don't, if you want to go in Africa, and if you have the finance, I say great, please go and visit. But if you don't, that you can't really use that as an excuse. You have the internet. The internet is like your book, your knowledge. I mean, you use it for Facebook and Instagram. All you have to do is Google all this stuff, or even just figure out what your name means, or just be curious about those things. The internet it can take you any part of the world that you wanted to go. I think understanding your history and where you come from, it gives you power. And sometimes I wonder why our history is so hidden. It seems that black history starts in America, especially during the slavery. Just the slavery defined black. But no, slavery is just what happened to us. It doesn't define us. We have history way before the slavery starts. I really do encourage you to go and search for those things, because it changed your life. It changed how you look at yourself and the kind of kids that you wanted to raise, and also really force you to be like, I really want to learn where I come from.
I see and I understand why we black people around the world, I understand why we don't get to dive deep into our histories. And I'm generalizing. I understand why, right? I understand why it's kept from us. I understand why, we might not have the time because we have to survive. I understand the many reasons. But one of the reasons why I also understand is because it's rough reading black history. It's rough.
Painful.
It's painful. You're gonna get to a certain point, some parts of the histories that are just really hard to swallow. It shakes you at your core. And I understand why you don't want to deal with that. Why someone would rather turn a blind eye and would rather dive into, let's say, religion. I did that, and I don't blame anybody that does that. African history is not for everyone, but I really do wish that we all put in the work to embrace the hard things about it, because in the hard things, like anything in life, there are beautiful things.
You excited? You kicked your blanket off?
What are you doing, Layla?
She's very excited about Black History Month. Yes. I think it should be celebrated every single day. It's true.
It's true. Everything you said is true.
I know.
But it didn't transition well with the first part that I said.
I know. After I said it, I'm like, what was it?
It's okay. I think you had the right point, though.
You are black. You are black.
You stunk. You go black, you never go back.
No.
You better stuck with your.
No. I was thinking like you don't take a break. There's no break. Let's talk about how the. What you said. Don't look at me. Let's talk about.
Okay.
It's not that funny.
Alright, it's not funny.
Seriously, it's not that funny. Okay. How's this journey?
No, I don't
I am so great at it.
No, I don't.
You know what? Just talk about your book.
History, but from a biography.
I can't say that.
Biographical, from a biographical standpoint. I think biographical is right.